Imagine waking up and deciding, not in a moment of desperation, but in a quiet, brave clarity, to run a 90-day experiment on your money life. Not a crash diet, not a dramatic flip, but a focused test. Isolate your rituals, spot the leaks, and see what habits amplify abundance and what habits quietly drain it. Over the next 3 months, you'll become a scientist of your own prosperity, tracking feelings, actions, and results like data points that reveal patterns. Today, I invite you to start small, to notice, to log, to feel, and to approach this with curiosity rather than pressure. This is your permission to be tender with yourself while being ruthlessly honest about what isn't working. Ready to begin? Keep listening, because the first mistake that derails most people is easier to miss than you think. Before any changes, anchor a promise to yourself. For 90 days, you will observe without judgment. That means 3 simple commitments. Record a daily money feeling, 1 sentence, list a single money action you took, and note any small win. That's it. The power of this structure is not in complexity, but in consistency, like watering a seed. So much of money work fails because people swing between extremes, all-out effort, then surrender. The experiment asks for steady presence. You will collect more useful data from a single honest line in your journal each evening than from 100 wishful affirmations said in a rush. Keep this promise with the same tenderness you'd give a friend, and move forward slowly to the next layer. The first common mistake is unconscious inconsistency, showing up sometimes and slipping other times. This looks like morning visualizations twice this week and a binge of worry the next. It looks like rituals performed as superstition rather than as real alignment. Your energy responds to rhythm. The universe leans into patterns. When you act sporadically, you send mixed signals to your nervous system and to the life you're building. Over the next minutes, I'll help you see how to make your practices honest, simple, and measurable, so your energy and action begin to sing together. But first, we'll peel back the deeper layers that hide beneath this surface inconsistency. Underneath every bank statement sits an inner story about money. Maybe you carry a whisper that says, "Money is scarce," or "I'm not worthy." These stories act like invisible accountants, miscategorizing opportunities and writing off possibilities before they arrive. During the experiment, you'll start naming these narratives. When you notice fear tighten your throat before opening an invoice, write it down. When you catch yourself saying, "I can't afford that," without checking, notice the certainty in the phrasing. Naming is the first step toward unhooking from beliefs that drain your results. As you become fluent in your internal language, the next mistake-confusing technique for truth will become clear, and you'll know how to respond. There's a trap where tools are worshipped instead of used. Visualization, affirmations, money baths, these are powerful when they align with inner truth. They become hollow when used like spells to fix a feeling you're not willing to look at. The experiment teaches you to test tools. Did that visualization shift your energy, or was it performance? Did a money ritual change your habits, or just soothe nervousness for a night? You'll learn to calibrate by asking simple questions. What changed in my feelings, and what changed in my actions? Action without alignment is busy work. Alignment without action is fantasy. The next shift is learning how to blend them, which brings us to the most draining mistake of all. Perhaps the most damaging leak occurs when your identity story doesn't match your behaviors. You may say, "I'm becoming wealthy," while your bank balance and decisions tell a different tale. That mismatch creates friction. Energy leaks like a house with 1,000 tiny cracks. The fix is not to fake identity, but to create incremental acts that reflect who you aim to be. If you want to be someone who manages money well, schedule a weekly money date today. If generosity is part of your identity, give a small sum that makes your heart light. These tangible acts begin to rewrite the narrative at a cellular level. Now hold that image, because we're about to reach the heart of the experiment, the turning point where subtle changes produce visible results. Week 1, Baseline. Track without judgment. Week 4, Disrupt one habit that routinely drains you, perhaps impulsive spending or people-pleasing generosity. Week 7, Introduce one sustaining ritual that brings you online: a 2-minute morning anchor, a weekly budget date, a generosity practice. Week 12, Integrate and celebrate, reviewing wins and adjusting a plan for the next quarter. This phased rhythm gives your nervous system time to adapt and your confidence time to grow. Real results rarely arrive as overnight miracles. They emerge from steady, intentional iteration. As your habit architecture strengthens, you'll notice a subtle but irreversible shift in how money moves through your life. The next part reveals the most powerful practical trio that ties energy and action together. An elegant formula that surfaced in this experiment was simple: energy plus systems plus grace. Energy is the inner tone you bring: calm, curious, expectant. Systems are the external supports: tracking, automation, appointments. Grace is the permission to fail tenderly and recalibrate. Missing any of the three causes results to leak. You can have all the energy in the world, but no system to catch it. You can build systems but carry panic. You can show up with grace but never take decisive action. As you practice the experiment, balance these three. Start by automating one bill, setting a 2-minute grounding practice each morning, and forgiving yourself for one slip this week. And now, because this is the turning point, you're ready for the single most powerful shift that changes everything. The multiplier is not a technique, it's a stance. From scarcity to invited abundance. This means replacing "I must get this" with "I'm learning to receive." Receiving is a practice. It asks you to unclench, to open your hands, to answer the question: when opportunity arrives, will you believe you are worthy? Practice receiving today. Accept a compliment. Take a small gift. Let someone help you. These tiny permissions expand your capacity to receive larger flows. The experiment shows that when people practice receiving alongside disciplined systems and aligned energy, results accelerate in ways that feel both surprising and inevitable. Hold that possibility, because next we move into the densest, most emotional part of the journey. Here are rituals that lasted for participants of the experiment. A 2-minute morning anchor. 3 breaths, 1 gratitude, 1 intention. A weekly money date, 30 minutes to look over cash flow and plan 1 generous action. A monthly money curiosity session. Ask what surprised you this month and what you want to invite next. Pair each ritual with a measurement, mood score, a line in your journal, or a small spreadsheet entry. The technology is simple, the devotion is disciplined. Over time, these small practices accumulate into a new monetary muscle, not about deprivation, but about clarity, confidence, and choice. There are a few last pitfalls to watch for as you adopt this rhythm. Relapse often looks like perfectionism or one catastrophic error that shrinks your identity. When a plan derails, notice whether you default to self-sabotage or self-compassion. Remind yourself that the experiment is data gathering. A setback is feedback, not failure. Create a simple corrective. 1 micro action you can take within 24 hours. Call a friend, reschedule your money date, or forgive a past choice aloud. These small course corrections keep momentum. If you keep circling back to the same leak, it may be time to name the deeper belief and bring in a trusted coach or accountability partner. Now, before we close, Here's a moment to feel what this work can shift at its deepest level. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the end of 90 days. You're sitting with a cup of tea, opening your journal and scanning rows of small wins. Maybe your bank balance looks different. Maybe your confidence hums in your chest. And maybe most importantly, your relationship with money has softened. You notice how you speak to yourself has changed. More patience, more curiosity. That quiet celebration is available to you not because of luck, but because of the steady choices you make now. This video has given you a map, but maps work only when opened and followed. Begin your experiment tomorrow. Bring kindness and report back here because we grow together. The core message to hold is this: structure your practice, align your energy, and give yourself permission to receive. If you're ready to take the first step, subscribe, share this experiment with someone who needs it, and leave a comment naming one habit you will change. Let's build this new rhythm together.